I don't know if flipping is the right call when you have a character at their limit like this. And then Lutano just toxically ults the Bulbasaur. There's like no reason. But he's just feeling himself, so he does that. So, we're going to be going through my team's run through the February finals. Show you the bracket right here. Gaimin Gladiators, round 1, Foreign Famous. We 2-0'd every match, by the way. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and then 2-0 in the finals as well. We didn't drop a single game. Not only did we not drop a single game here, in the qualifiers to get into this tourney, the tourney that had over 500 players, 500 teams sign up rather, we also 2-0'd every single match. We haven't dropped an official game in Pokemon Unite since the Worlds tourneys have started, which is pretty cool. But into Foreign Famous, our 2-0, these guys actually didn't show up. Didn't have their alarm clock set right, so they just didn't show up. But we did scout out Ask Dave, and it was Fui. Yeah, we scouted out Ask Dave a little bit. You know, I did my little scouting report as I would. And I knew that they were like ready to play dual lanes. Because, you know, they were talking, he made a video on it as well, where 2-1-2 is a new meta. So a part of our preparation was potentially expecting a dual lane. And, you know, like I've talked about on stream before, if you're a tri-lane into a dual lane, you have to punish a dual lane. So if that's one thing they were going to do, we're ready for it. They also really like to play this comp without Eldegoss, where they run like Slowbro as their support. If these guys stack off of the bottom lane here, I'll be able to show you, but we just skip ahead to another part. Yeah, like their comp here, they run Wiggly, Slowbro, and like Venusaur attacker. So no Eld, meaning, you know, you have to take the team fights a little bit differently. Long, drawn-out fights favor you because you have Cotton Guard, and they have like hard engage with 2 tanks. So another thing, like, you know, mentally we were ready for it, but they just no-showed. They lost to the alarm clock. Round 2, we're up against Floatstone Gaming. And until today, when I was prepping for this today and I was looking up how our games went, I didn't really remember how they went, to be honest. This series is probably like, I completely forgot about it, to the point where I don't even have footage of it. So I asked the enemy team to give me footage. But I guess we can watch the last 2 minutes of this game here. See how we take this fight. So we're the orange guys, by the way, in this, obviously. You know, they open up on Goof, we use our Unite moves, we just go and flip Zap, and we also have like a massive lead. So they actually get Zap, right? You know, they're the blue team. But we do this thing, and you guys might have seen it if you watch a lot of us play, is that if we have a massive lead, we'll just pull Zap, and then win or lose, we secure the game, because we killed 3 of them. We knocked out 3 of them. And even if they get Zap, the most possible that they could turn is 200, because there's only 2 Pokemon alive. And we have a more than 200 point lead. Plus, we could just go cap somewhere else. Which is what we end up doing, because we have them knocked out. So, yeah, another like just textbook game from us. We develop a lead, we flip Zap, and it doesn't end up mattering, because, you know, we still end up winning by 200 after losing Zap. I think game 2 against us is like much of the same story in this set. If I just like pause at like 2 minutes even, and we look at the XP, like I'm level 4, Goof's level 5, their carries are 4 and 3. Like, I think we're just having an easy time in the lanes. And a lot of games will just be lost this way. Like, if you dominate both lanes, you win first shred, you just have such a big XP lead that you'd have to throw to lose the game. So obviously the counterplay to that is to not lose your lane or play better. But which is how I, you know, I think my team likes to play in a way where if we're gonna lose the game, we're losing it in a way that we've set it up that we lost because we got outplayed. Not, you just want to avoid games that become flippy, like score comps and things like that. But last 2 minutes of the game, we have a massive point lead. They don't get positioning in the zap pit, and we burn it down and it's dead pretty much. But yeah, this set was not a struggle for us at all. But if I go to round 3, I believe this is the round where we play Gengar's Goons. So going into this set, we had an agenda. We had to win this series for sure. Not only because we want to win the tournament, right? But their abbreviation is also GG. And I didn't want it to be confusing for you guys watching the tournament that there's like another team with the name GG. So like I really wanted them to get knocked out, even though they seem like a really like nice team, nice players. I just didn't want them in the tournament because they'd have like the same abbreviation as us. That's all I was really thinking about in this game. Like, that's where my mind's at. But let's take a look at the VOD here. So this is, I believe, this looks like it's game 1. We're getting into the zap fight. I secured Dread. I leaf tornadoed. Leaf tornado mid. I do my standard, you know, hide in a bush. Pick a bush that looks cool. Which bush am I gonna pick? This bush? Nice. This is my bush now. And I'm chilling in my bush. On guard some of the damage. Leaf tornado my teammates and blind the Charizard at the same time. We have a huge lead, so I'm looking at our points, and they've only broken our bottom point. We probably have good overdunks. But I think this game, our fight actually goes horribly wrong. Yeah. We actually end up losing this team fight, huh? What happens? Okay, so Lutano goes in, gets chunked. Lutano, oh, okay, I remember this fight now. Lutano backs, and our comms are like retreat, but then the Snorlax ults, and we didn't get out in time. And then I ult to make sure Toon can survive. Toon ults as well. So like, you know, we live, but Lutano backed, and we should have ran because we had to take a 4v5. And Lutano goes in, but you know, Toon and I are too chunked, so we can't. I see the Charizard unite. I remember this game, so I X-speed away. So it looks like my whole team's dead. Toon's about to die. And they're on Zap. And I mean, I know we went undefeated, so we get it. Too clean, you know? The casters hyped that moment up as well. I loved it. But yeah, you know, sometimes you just can't lose, and it was all me in this game for sure. Let's unmute for a second and see what I say or the team says. Oh, I'm below you, Toon, because I was below him. Got it. Oh my god. Sigh of relief because I really didn't want to lose, and then we were chilling. I like it. Anyways, enough showing off. See, how does game 2 go? I feel like game 2, that happens to us and it's like a wake-up call. You know, we're like, okay, we almost lost to the Gengar Goons. This is not a team that we were expecting to have trouble into. To their credit, honestly, I think these guys are kind of underrated, but they did everything right in the final zap fight, you know? They got Eldegossed in the end, but they did everything right. They played the fight way better than we did, but you know, sometimes it happens. And I remember them playing like decently in the lane too. Like they didn't play too bad. I'm gonna die too. Yeah, these guys aren't bad. Our one thing though that's really strong about our tri-lane is that most of the time we win our tri-lane pretty heavily, and if we ever don't win it, we never lose it very badly. Like we never lose our lane as badly as our opponents lose our lane sometimes. Like I died here, but I'm still a higher level than their Eld and Slowbro. Like we're just so much better at securing farm. A lot of times the deaths that do happen are inconsequential to like the actual lane. So the deaths don't even matter as much. And we're just like way ahead on XP. Like even Zug's gonna die. Zug's death here is probably not great. Maybe even I'm dead. But like, I just feel like we're always fine. That's just, that death is just unlucky. Like for some reason, somehow the way it works out is we always seem to be okay on XP. But these guys, you know, they play well. They played well in the early game. So we have the advantage going into Zap here. Like, we're level 9. We're just going to kill them as they walk in. We have the Cinder Unite to smite it. And like, our top side, I think in this set, like, outplayed them a lot. And we went pretty even bottom. So, you know, Goon comes down, smites, and we're looking good. And then I think this game, in terms of the rest of it, yeah, they don't end up scoring anything. We get the Zap. And we win 503 to 9. So we definitely wanted to come back in this game and win it hard after what happened game 1, which is nice. I'm happy we performed there. So yeah, that series goes another 2-0. Where are we at now in the bracket? So we 2-0 Foreign Famous because their alarm clock beats them. We 2-0 Floatstone Gaming. You know, we just play our game and we have an easy time with it. Gengar Goons, these guys put up a good fight, but you know, game 1, they get out-diffed 1v5. And then game 2, you know, our top side of the map, Toon and Lutano, just hard carry. We go against Blvkhvnd, and these guys used to be Team Ascendance back in the day, if you remember them. They're probably, like, going into this tournament, these guys, prior to the qualifiers at least, had won like 4 tournaments in a row. Their global ranking is like 2 or 3. Ours is number 1, obviously. And like a lot of teams are like, or a lot of the communities hyping them up to be like our rival and the team that's, you know, could potentially knock us down. Them or Shiny, obviously. So that's kind of like the impression going into this match. And, you know, we respect them. Like, they're a solid group of players. But our prep, I think, led us to believe that they're going to play Talonflame. Because whenever we've played them, or these group of guys, especially Chaotic, who's a Talon main, or at least from my perspective, he's a Talon main, I expected them to be Talonflame and like Unga Bunga us with like Talon Venusaur. Because, you know, one team had done it in, or I think maybe even they had done it to us in a tourney, and we dropped the game to it. And sometimes teams think we struggle into Talon. I don't think we do, but that's kind of the impression. That's what I was anticipating, but they just come out playing the same comp or similar comp to us, like Cinder jungle, Lucario top, and then the tri-lane's a little bit different. I think they value Venusaur higher than Pikachu. You know, Goof likes Pikachu, he's really good at it, and we like it as a team. And same thing for Zug, he's really good at Wiggly, and we really like playing with it. So this is just a comp that we prefer to run. But yeah, early game, you know, I think in this set, I think Toon and Lutano have played against Overlord for such a long time now that they kind of have his number. And I think he gets really tilted in this game, just how strong they're doing top. And then on the bottom side of the map, like, I think we're kind of struggling early game, but it's not bad. Like, I'm level 4. I'm going to be 5. This game's going pretty normal, other than the fact that, I mean, Toon is level 8, Lutano's level 7. And I think they're just so much stronger than our opponents. And bottom side's literally even. That we should just be able to win first shred off of this. Okay, I remember this game. Chaotic uses the ult early and Toon doesn't even have 9. But we do this thing, and it's like a simple concept in games, right? Like, enemy team uses a cooldown. If you can run, you run. So we just run, and then they don't have time to get Dread in time. And now they're screwed, right? We have our level 9. You know, Toon and Lutano line up for the smite. But even if we don't get the smite there, we're just winning this team fight so hard because they don't have their Unite move and we do. And I think that, and combined with them losing the early game on most of the map, meant that this set was like pretty easy. I think second Dread ends up getting flipped, but flipped in a way where their HP is so low that it probably doesn't matter. And this happens a lot in our fights where we're happy for Dread to just die, and we'll just like try to win a team fight in and around it. Obviously, you always want to win Dread when you can. We're pretty confident around it. We hold the Rotom for a little bit. We get a bunch of scores in. Like, we have a 200-point lead and 300-point lead. And I think like even the enemy team at this point, they know what we're gonna do. Like, it's not a surprise as to what our game plan is here. We're gonna hit Zap like we do all the time. In fact, I think we start hitting Zap late, you know? But Zug catches them out. We just rip Zap. They're not close enough. If they smite it, they smite it. Like, we're 300 points up. Like, we don't really care. right? And the game's just over. Like, we're gonna win by like 500 points. Like, mathematically impossible for them to come back. And versus a game or versus a team that people thought would be our rivals. And this was another game that we really wanted to win. And at this point, you know, you beat a team this bad, you're not sure if they're going to come back and change their comp, or if they're going to run the same comp, they're going to change it up, but they bust out the Machamp, which I think Overlord's pretty good at, and it's different. And Charizard, which I think Charizard's a scary Pokemon. Like, it's just a good Pokemon in the jungle, or wherever you put it, really. When it becomes a Charizard and it breathes fire, this thing is scary for sure. And so is Machamp. Machamp can be scary, but their weaknesses make them like a lot less consistent. And I think topside, I believe our lanes should be favored into the Charizard with Cinder and Machamp. So they're playing a losing lane top, and we're doing really well in this lane bottom. Their Bulbasaur's, you know, trapped level 4 for quite a while. Junglers are about even in XP. So we're slightly ahead at this point in the game. In this Dread fight, I think the Charizard Unite moves pretty early. And again, like, once their Unite moves are over, like, we're happy to take this fight. And this is exactly what happens. Like, he ults, we walk away, and we end up picking him off, and then we're gonna win this Dread fight. And honestly, like, first Dread is such a big advantage still. You get such a big XP advantage. You know, they get some scores throughout this game, but we just take that first Dread lead. We don't throw it away. We go for kills where we can. We set up second Dread. Oh, okay, I remember this game. So in this game, Lutano's calling, Machamp is coming down, right? We gotta go fast or something like that. And then he says Machamp is in the bush at this point in the game right here. And me and Toon take that call as Machamp's in the bush, like he's won. And, you know, we got to kill him before we can kill Dread. You know, because we don't want him to take the last hit on how you would like zone a normal character out. But Overlord, you know, good player. He hides in the bush, he presses his ult and just drops down and gets a nasty 3-man ult on us. And at this point, like, game's looking kind of scary, you know? Level 13 Machamp just got pretty much a triple. They're gonna get the Dread. But I think he oversteps here a little bit, potentially. No, they're fine. Yeah, so they catch up a bunch on XP. He's level 14, and it was just honestly like, kudos to him. Really, really big Machamp ult, and he found it. You know, mistake on our part, but that's how you're supposed to play the game. That being said, I mean, Toon is 14, Lutano is 12, and the rest of our carries are fine. We're gonna take a final fight here at this Rotom. We end up flipping it with close combat, and the Machamp gets low. Toon picks him off, and we're gonna just force a fight here if we can. But also, pretty textbook gameplay here. If you have a Rotom walking at around 215, Rotom gives the vision of the enemy team. They're all on it. They know. I feel like they can sense that we want to rip it. But we see the Machamp or the Charizard back. Zug starts to delay them, and then we're gonna do the same thing that we do every game, guys. Good macro hit bird, and we just hit the bird. This one probably seems a little bit more sus than normal, to be honest. But I feel like for whatever reason, like we just had everything clicking this day, and that we were just gonna win any flips we went for anyways, like no matter what, because we just had the last hitting. And most of the flips that we went for, like, we were way favored to begin with. But we hit it, we last hit it, and that's all that ends up mattering. This is another pretty big point lead game. Yeah, about 500-600 points. All right. We take out Blvkhvnd 2-0. And then we're in the grand finals. We have a long wait. Several hour wait, I think. If I remember right. Because we have to let the losers bracket play out. And I think Full Send is the team, yeah. So Full Send, this is like a team combined of players from various different teams. Red Love from, you know, the OG Tire team. Then he went to IX. Then he came here. Snow Points, who we've been playing against for a long time. Like, he was on a team with Sanji. Then you know, Sanji left that team. He was on a team with Bruv for a while, and he's been around. Otter, you know, he's always been around on solid teams. Celestial, so like all good players, and no surprise that they make it to the finals. But I think their road to the finals is a little bit rockier. Obviously, it's a losers bracket. They had to play Shiny, who they drop a game to. They had to play Blvkhvnd, who we just 2-0'd. They also drop a game to. And these guys in the finals, the last time we played them, or the last time we lost to them rather, was in a tournament where we dominated the entire early game, but they were playing like something like Talon and Venusaur with Solar Beam and just full Unga Bunga going at us. And I fully expected them to think that that was going to be a good way to beat us, and we weren't going to lose to it. We were so ready if something like that came on. But they decided to play something pretty standard, just, you know, Jungle Charizard, Red Love's signature Venusaur, and then everything else is just mirrored pretty much. So expecting, like, you know, good match to come from this, but at the same time we feel like hella confident. Like, just, you know, we've 2-0'd everything. We've never had a lot of trouble into this team, and you know, I'm just feeling good. Like, some days you're just, everything feels on point, like your comms are good, you're like fully alert, and we definitely just showed up for this tourney, and especially for this game 1. If I remember right, we fully dominate them here. Like, Red Love's gonna be trapped level 4 for a while. He's at his legit Ricken limit here. If I'm just parsing through this game, we're going, you know, he dies level 4 at 730. The bees are up, he's still 4. The dread fight, like, imagine you have a Charizard on your team and you also have a Bulbasaur at the same time, right? So the bottom lane, we completely shut them out. They go for this flip on dread. I don't know what the right call is here, because we've literally never had a level 4 Pokemon at dread. Like, not once in my career as a Pokemon Unite player have we had someone in the lane level 4 at the dread fight. So usually I could tell you the right answer as to what you're supposed to do. I don't know if flipping is the right call when you have a character at their limit like this. And then Lutano just toxically ults the Bulbasaur. There's like no reason, but he's just feeling himself, so he does that. And like, this game is just a shutout. Like, I don't think there's much to talk about this game. Like, we push our advantage a little bit, like, you know, but you know, we're in no danger whatsoever. They use some Unite moves, like they're gonna get some comeback XP here and there. Like, you know, Toon makes a good play, stays alive, and everyone's just, you know, clean. You know, Red Love's still level 8, more than halfway through the game. He hasn't hit his final form. This is just one of those games where we won the early game hard and we had the clamp on them for the most of the game. They did an okay job trying to come back, but there's only so much you can do when you lose early game this hard. They end up pressing a lot of Unite moves here, but you know, we just counter back with ours. Their Charizard's dead. Their ult's gonna be dead. I died earlier in the fight, but I died early enough that we can still secure Rotom. And you know, another thing that we've done, you know, throughout this tournament is we secure Rotom. We see that they're on Vision or Rotom, and then we just, you know, we go for the rip because we know we have the advantage here. And you know, we put the game in scenarios where we just shouldn't be able to lose no matter what happens. And there's an easy zap. Easy zap, easy game. Game 2, I think, is much of the same story against them. They don't change their comp up at all. Right? They're running the same exact comp. I think if they ran the Talon comp, it would have been worse, but for some reason I expected them to do that. And I think this time, like, bottom lane, we don't blow them as hard as we did game 1, because that's just not meant to happen. I think they play a little bit safer, but we still do so well in this bottom lane. And our 2v2 does well top. Like, yeah, I'm almost level 5. They're all just still level 3. I'm 5 and their Venus still 4. But this game he ends up evolving. So we still have the lead bottom, just not nearly as much. And our top side's just massively ahead as well. This Cinder is just barely 7, and Toon is 8. Lucario's 5, and Lutano's 7. Like, everyone on their counterpart, you know. Goof is 7 to their Venus 5. Like, we just have an insane lead. And it's just going to be an easy Dread fight. Clean Dread take. And then I remember, so we break bottom here, and we're like, freak it, let's go, we're pushing. And we kill them, and we're like, you know what, it's the grand finals, whatever, we're just going in. Dude flashes in, and then, you know, the typical Lutano, I'm dead, right? Goop goes to like flash buddy bury him, he doesn't get it. We're still throwing around, we're just, honestly, we're just having a giggle. You know, I hit 9, I'm like, whatever, Goof, I'm gonna save you now. Then Goof's stuck in the speed flux zone. He ends up passing, I end up passing, Lutano ends up passing. We just give so much comeback XP away. But it's like, it's the finals, and like, we've just been dominating this game so hard. We shut them out last game. You know, we're honestly, we're just having too much fun. I think our comms were literally, guys, we're over the fun limit right now. So we still have a huge lead. It doesn't really matter. They get the Rotom, but we just kill all of them. It gives us positioning for second Dread, which we end up getting pretty easily. And they're trying to trade caps around the map, but it doesn't really matter. Like, we have such a large point lead, such a large XP lead. Goof finds a solid pick here by hiding in the bush on this Eld. And the casters did a good job finding it as well. Love it. And we just have like full control. Like, maybe the point lead is not as big as it could be because we threw bottom. But they go and they just flip Zap. And they actually get Zap in this game. They get Zap in this game. They go and flip it, which I thought was a little weird during the game. But they do go and flip it, and we get some kills. We set up to go for some counter caps. And for actually one moment in this game, they actually have a lead. But we come back, you know, we get our siege bottom. We're fine. Yeah, then we go on their core. We do a great job picking off the Cinder as a crew right here. And then we all just press the score button. And Zug gets his 100 top because we force them all here. We walk off the point, and they don't have any time left. Try to come back, and the game's over. And that's pretty good. I mean, it's a nice clean 2-0. We don't go to the bracket reset. We end up winning it, and it was a good tournament. I liked it. Hopefully we repeat business in this month's qualifier or this month's finals. The open or the qualifiers to get into the finals, we're not playing in because getting top 4 guarantees you a spot there. But yeah, I was proud of us in this tourney.